Before I introduce our disadvantages, which I'm going to be talking about, I just wanted to say a few things. First of all, with the 1 year service that we have planned for this, it takes 1 year to enroll and 6 months to enroll in any branch of military and 6 months to do the training. So within that time, the only real discipline that a person can get from it is maybe physical discipline with training. According to the sergeant of the 12th unit of the Army, Sergeant No, he says that not all people that are fresh from high school become disciplined after they leave their 6 to 8 months of Army training. Some of them become more adept to being, I guess you could say this is a free person, because out in the Army, aside from actually being in training, you're free to do whatever you want. So not all people are disciplined, especially when they get their passes to go out for the week. They go crazy. So having self-discipline isn't always what Army people have, though it may look like that. And in regards to felons, though it is true that reinstating conscription, which is also called a draft. So not calling conscription a draft is the wrong thing to say. Excuse me. According to the Selective Service Act, not only does the military kind of not really weed out, but filter the felons, they're also a little discriminatory against homosexuals who are open to their homosexuality, and in some instances women. So say, for example, there are certain units in the Army that don't allow women because of circumstances. So maybe say they're not allowed in front line or things like so. And that ties into the disadvantages. There are 4 disadvantages. The first one is involuntary servitude. As Sierra and Daniel were saying, just because not all people who are drafted want to be there. Actually, the reality of the draft, even back when it first started in the World War II, was that people who were drafted, I think it was 80%, did not want to be drafted. And according to Professor Zoltan Grossman of the University of Wisconsin, 80% of people did not want to be drafted, and it was immoral for them to force them to participate when they did not want to. And the second disadvantage is that the U.S. build-up can be provocative to other countries. Say the numbers right now for the military are around 1.2 million. So that's just that's a volunteer. All of the Army right now is a volunteer. Imagine if the draft was instated. Imagine how many numbers would increase just from each branch of the military, and that could prove provocative to other countries. Even right now, according to Jim Yardley of the International Herald Tribune, he's talking about one of the professors, Professor Keating. He says that Keating also said that the United States was watching China's military buildup very carefully and was particularly concerned about Beijing's intent in developing anti-satellite programs and long-range ballistic missiles. And not only that, Japan is also watching China's rapid growth, which could also be if you think about it, if our country were to build up our defenses that much, this could be a response to our buildup. The third disadvantage is that conscription could be very costly. Like what Casey was saying, is that the Army pays for housing and for food, which is true, but only for basic pay. According to the 2009 Marine Corps Times pay charts, they show that 1,000 to 10,000 is paid to armed soldiers per week, and this is for only basic pay. And pay is according to rank, and rank is equivalent to how much they get paid. And that's only for the basic armed forces that are in contract. There are still people in private firms, which according to the Congressional Budget Office, they get paid $7,000 to $15,000 a week. So reinstating a draft would be more expensive just because of numbers, and for the last disadvantage is that conscription will drain resources. According to the Victoria Transport Policy Institute, 10 million to well over 100 billion annually goes to oil and petroleum that fuels tanks and aircraft, and the military is one of the most I guess expensive and